All right, so I am working on a waste campus, and here's what I'm learning about the waste campus. Number one, it's super cool. Waste campus. Why is it super cool? Is the items that you got to think about on a waste campus is you're going to have a recycling area. Oh yeah, and I'm walking over here with Mr. Logan himself. It's actually Chad, but to me he looks like Logan Wolverine. Anyway, so why is it so neat is one is a waste campus could actually bring down the cost of everybody in the county's trash bill. And the main reason why is now you actually have a place that you can recycle trash, and if it's privately owned, they're going to make money off of it, which is great because the more money they make from recycling that you're bringing in, the less that your cost is going to be on your trash, period. Now, over here in Polk County, for example, they've increased the fees for waste management for picking up your trash, but they've decreased the actual service, meaning they don't do recycling anymore. So you're like, okay, that doesn't make sense. But typically what I found was on privately held recycling waste campuses, now it decreases everybody because they're making money off of that, which is great, fantastic. That's great. The other item as well is they're going to have an area to recycle tires. Polk County, they don't have that anymore. You have to go somewhere else, but that helps the community that they can get rid of old tires because right now they don't have that, which is another thing about a waste campus. The other aspect of a waste campus that it brings to the table as well, it brings competition. For example, if there's only one waste management in town, well, that one's kind of a monopoly, even if it's your county or your city. But if you've got competition, what does that do? Now it starts giving an even playing field when it comes down to cost. But there's a couple things that you have to think about on a waste campus. And if you've done a waste campus before, please comment or let me know. This is my first time dealing with it, so I'm not going to act like I know anything. I'm just sharing with you what I'm learning dealing with a waste campus, period. The other item as well is going to be on a waste campus. For us, we have man-made lakes. We're going to have to de-water those man-made lakes. We already got a bathymetric survey. That's basically a survey showing the entire area of the lake to show what area can we actually de-water and what area we can't de-water, right? And what area we could fill. Typically, you could fill, theoretically, the entire man-made pond or lake because it was man-made. Right? If it's not man-made, now you got to deal with Swiftmud and a whole bunch of different ABC agencies and everything else. So both of ours on this assemblage that we did, 288 acres, is 100% possible for us to fill it. So that's another item as well. But you do have to think about, okay, if you're going to de-water it, where are you going to de-water it at? Okay, so I'm going back again, the actual waste campus. So on the dewatering of a waste campus, or if you have a man-made lake, you've got to dewater it. So when you're dewatering something, one, you got to get a permit, typically from Swiftmud, or whoever is the agency in charge of that man-made lake. Then you got to dewater it somewhere. Where is it going to discharge, right? Typically Swiftmud in Florida is the one that's going to approve this process. Then if you have water basins inside of your man-made lake, where the water basins, I think I'm saying it right, where are they going to go? Period. How's that going to look? And it's got to have a natural flow, a natural direction that it's actually going to go. So the typical engineers that I'm actually going to be speaking with about this waste campus, again, it's a huge assemblage that we're doing, 288 acres. I got with the other neighbors and I told them exactly what we plan on doing, but it's going to be a process. But it's going to be a neat process because honestly, I've never heard of anybody ever doing a waste campus other than the guy I talked to today. And this developer that's actually going to be partnering with us, he's got 3 high-risers going up in Sarasota right now, and he's doing a walled-off, I think they call it ward-off Astoria. I don't know. Yeah. Some kind of high-end thing, you know what I'm talking about? So anyway, it's a big deal. It's going to be in Sarasota. So he has a waste campus in Ruskin, and it's going extremely well. So we're learning a lot about it. Now again, we're not married to that if we're going to keep the property, if we're going to land lease the property, if we're going to do royalties on the property. I honestly have no idea. All I know is I'm working on it and I'm sharing with you what I'm learning, because if you ever deal with it, it's fantastic. Here's the other thing too. We have rail on our property possibly. Meaning there's rail behind one of our properties on this waste campus. I had lunch recently with the main individual at CSX that would approve this, showed on the site. He turned around and he said, dude, I love that site. And what do you want to do with it? I said, well, we're probably going to need anywhere from 20 to 30 cars, rail cars. So we're going to need what they call a rail spur. Rail spur is spurs out of the main line, and then it spurs into your area. It could be very large, it could be very small. Don't know. I'm dealing with that right now behind this site, that we're going to be able to get a rail spur. Rail spurs typically cost about $1 million if you're going to deal with CSX. And then, because they have unions and everything else involved, they're going to cost about $375 a square foot to actually build as well. So it's pretty high, but logistically it makes sense, just because that is the cheapest way logistically to get goods to you, period. So if you want to get goods at a very low rate, you want to have a lot of rail, period. That is just the cheapest, and it's the safest. Everything is a lot cheaper. Every rail car could hold about 100 tons. So that's what it looks like. So this is kind of the things that we're looking at for this waste campus that I'm working on right now, me and the team. And even though everybody's kind of pulling out there because we do have a lot of projects, but I look at it like this: God's not going to give you anything that you can't handle. And if I'm willing to give it all I got, and on my tombstone one day it's going to say nothing left, bump it. If it's in front of us, look, we're going to build this entire community that we're all the way around right here. This is going to be 108 units mixed in with veteran housing and 4,800 square feet of retail. Do I know how we're going to do it? Of course not. Am I confident that this is going to happen? Yes, I am. So it's just like, you make it happen without excuses and you figure things out. But what I learned is those 4 principles, which is, as long as you do everything with integrity, as long as you do everything with no ego, as long as you're doing everything with great love, and you're being aware of what's happening, everything always works out. But you have to be willing to be uncomfortable, and you have to be willing to be comfortable being uncomfortable. For me, I've had 7 major times that I was beyond uncomfortable in the last 6 years. So now I would say I'm getting really good at being uncomfortable. And it's just one of those things, because what I learned was, do you have faith or not? Do you believe that you're doing the right thing or not? And to me, I would rather have these epic stories when I'm like 80 or 90, these adventures that we took on that were like, we had no idea how we were going to pull off rail. We had no idea how this guy just knocked on the door and we didn't even know what was going on, or we had no idea how we were going to do an assemblage, a 288 acre assemblage. The last time I did assemblage, I did a 63 acre assemblage, 22 acres to 63. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you know this or not, but 63 goes into 288 a lot. So just something to think about. But keep on pushing forward. Hopefully you're learning something as well. You can go to trueinvestors.com to check out more of the case studies. Again, trueinvestors.com. And hopefully you're doing some amazing deals yourself. So keep on killing it. All right, bye.